I every time I think about this, it's difficult for me because I try to give a atmosphere where we're reminded of our dopeness, but sometimes in order to be reminded of our authentic dopeness, we got to deal with some of the shit that we put people through. And that is this episode of Dear Black Gaming Podcast. Tomorrow, I'm talking about I'm guilty of gaslighting on Dear Black Gaming Podcast. I tell the story of my ex and the lengths that he went through to maintain his sanity while I was gaslighting him. The link to the episode is in the description. But first, here on Dear Black Gay Man YouTube channel, we try to tell black gay stories through a uniquely black gay lens, which brings us to this week's sponsor, iElevate Plus TV. iElevate Plus TV is a new streaming service dedicated to telling our stories as black LGBTQ plus people, from erotica to inspiration, scripted series, reality TV, and films. iElevate Plus TV shows just how dynamic our lives, our experiences are. Right now, iElevate Plus TV is the exclusive home of Dirty Laundry. iElevate Plus TV is available on Apple TV and Roku. Visit iElevatePlusTV.com to subscribe. Now let's get back into the show. As I was identifying gaslighting as one of the many things I did wrong in some of my previous relationships, I started realizing that there were 3 basic hallmarks to when I can say specifically that I was gaslighting one of my exes. I'm always looking for a way to, when I learn something, to give it back in a way that can be productive, hopefully help us overcome gaslighting. So these are 3 unmistakable signs that he is gaslighting you. The first is, that's not how I remember it. Now, I use this one a lot. One person's perception is no better than another person's. Debating facts when you're in an argument can be clarifying. You can see it from their perspective, they can see it from your perspective. But if he loves you, if you mean something to him, then the facts, the details are not going to matter as much as how he made you feel. So if you get stuck in the details, he might be gaslighting you. The next one is, I remember saying things like, you're paranoid. Relationships should be a safe haven. It should be your soft place to fall. It should be where you can come and take solace away from everything else that's going on in your life. If you have justifiable cause to feel some kind of way behind something that Bae did or said, and he doesn't try to alleviate that tension, that's the red flag, sis. And then the last is, if all we do is argue. If you're trapped in this never-ending argue about words or actions, and he hasn't taken steps to correct them, that's the red flag, and he's just a jackass. But if he goes a step further and tries to make you the bad guy in these arguments, then he's gaslighting you. It's a hard lesson to learn about gaslighting because it's such a toxic trait. I will say that my own gaslighting is rooted in some very deep insecurities that I talk about on the podcast. I had to learn this lesson. Hopefully everyone else, you through the camera, eyes will be opened to being gaslighted, as well as if you are gaslighting someone else. This is the backstory to tomorrow's episode of Dear Black Gay Man Podcast. Dear Black Gay Man Podcast is new every Wednesday. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And I'll see you next time. Bye.